You are listening to the It's Logical podcast, Episode 9, Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon. Have you ever gazed up at the sky, spotted a strange glowing orb, and felt that electric rush of possibility pulsing through your veins? Throughout history, humankind has been captivated by the unknown lights dancing above our heads. From legends of chariots flying in the heavens to modern-day debates about alien spacecraft, one thing remains constant: our fascination with unidentified aerial phenomenon. I'm your host, and today on It's Logical, we embark on a deep dive into the realm of UAPs. Prepare yourself for a journey where science, history, and the human psyche intersect in often surprising and sometimes comical ways. I remember a story my grandfather once told me about his time stationed in Japan during World War II. He and several other soldiers witnessed what they believed were luminous orbs making impossible right-angle turns at breakneck speeds high above their base. In their astonishment, they wondered if these were enemy craft, or perhaps something from beyond our planet. But eventually, they discovered a far simpler, though somewhat embarrassing explanation. The orbs were actually bright reflections of sunlight dancing across wires strung overhead, gently swinging in the wind. In one moment, they stood on the brink of cosmic speculation, only to realize in the next that nature can play spectacular tricks on the human eye. Unidentified doesn't automatically mean extraterrestrial, far from it. Glowing illusions, atmospheric phenomena like ball lightning, or even reflective birds in flight can all mimic what the imagination yearns to interpret as alien craft. Over the centuries, many have been quick to shout "aliens" whenever they see something they can't explain. Yet the real world around us, our own atmosphere, weather patterns, wildlife, and even stray bits of debris, holds a wealth of wonders that can be equally enthralling. Today, we'll explore the historical context of these mysterious sightings, dive into the science and psychology that shape them, and debunk some of the most infamous myths. We'll also consider those genuinely unexplained cases that keep our sense of wonder alive, because when it comes to unidentified aerial phenomenon, there's more than just the possibility of alien visitors. There are the countless enigmas of Earth itself, phenomena that spark our curiosity, push our scientific boundaries, and remind us of how little we truly know. Let's begin. Accounts of strange lights or objects in the sky date back millennia, well before the modern era of airplanes and satellites. In ancient Egypt, scribes documented what they called fiery disks in the heavens. One of the earliest references, often cited by ancient astronaut theorists, is a papyrus sometimes referred to as the Thule papyrus. It allegedly describes bright, pulsating circles appearing in the sky around 1480 BCE. While its authenticity is debated among Egyptologists, its story underscores the enduring human obsession with unexplained aerial lights. Half a world away, Chinese astronomers meticulously recorded guest stars, nova or supernova events, comets, and other celestial anomalies. Though modern astronomy attributes most of these to perfectly natural cosmic occurrences, historical records indicate that anything unrecognized in the sky could spark theories of omens, gods, or mysterious visitors from beyond. In various European medieval texts, lights in the sky were sometimes attributed to angelic beings or demonic forces. Vikings spoke of the Bifrost, a shimmering rainbow-like bridge connecting Earth to Asgard, often thought to be the Northern Lights, known scientifically as Aurora Borealis. Indigenous peoples around the world have stories of lights and objects that could heal, punish, or lead travelers astray. These accounts, when stripped of cultural context, can easily be sensationalized as historical evidence for aliens. Yet, we must remember that people in ancient times had limited scientific tools to explain dazzling phenomena like meteor showers, comets, or even atmospheric reflections. Their interpretations were shaped by their mythologies, religions, and social structures. Fast forward to the late 19th and early 20th centuries, when industrial and scientific revolutions were changing the world. Reports of mysterious airships made headlines in newspapers across the United States in the 1890s. Most of these sightings described cigar-shaped craft with bright lights, allegedly performing advanced maneuvers. Researchers today suspect many of these were hoaxes, misidentified experimental balloons, or simply tall tales fueled by the excitement of humankind's first steps into controlled flight. But the grand turning point in the public's UFO obsession arrived on June 24, 1947, when civilian pilot Kenneth Arnold reported seeing a formation of unusual flying objects near Mount Rainier, Washington. He described them as moving like saucers skipping on water, which led to the now iconic term flying saucers. Soon after, sightings proliferated across the country, culminating in incidents like the Roswell crash in July 1947. While the U.S. military initially stated a flying disc had been recovered, they quickly retracted the statement, insisting it was a weather balloon. The contradictory announcements fueled conspiracy theories for decades to come. In response to increasing public interest, the U.S. Air Force launched a series of investigations into UFOs: Project Sign, 1947, 1949, Project Grudge, 1949-1952, and most famously, Project Blue Book, 1952-1969. Under Project Blue Book, the Air Force documented 12,618 UFO reports, with 701 cases officially labeled unidentified. According to declassified records, most sightings were attributed to mundane sources: aircraft lights, weather balloons, astronomical phenomena, or hoaxes. However, the leftover unidentified cases still capture the public's imagination. A 1968 academic study known as the Condon Report, led by physicist Edward U. Condon at the University of Colorado, concluded that further extensive research into UFOs was unlikely to yield significant scientific discoveries. Despite this, many argued the study was hasty or biased. It's not just an American fixation. In the United Kingdom, sightings have been documented as part of the Ministry of Defense's UFO desk, active from the 1950s to 2009. In France, the Groupe d'études et d'information sur les phénomènes aérospatiaux non identifiés, GIPAN, investigates UAP reports under the French space agency CNES. Other countries have had their own protocols for collecting and analyzing UFO sightings, emphasizing that this fascination spans the globe. By the mid-20th century, a new wave of science fiction movies, television shows, and popular novels poured rocket fuel onto the fire of UFO speculation. Films like The Day the Earth Stood Still, 1951, and Close Encounters of the Third Kind, 1977, captured public attention, blending science fiction with the real possibility of extraterrestrial life. This cultural backdrop led to an ever-growing catalog of personal testimonies, alleged photographs, and eventually the rise of internet communities devoted to UFO research. On the evening of March 13, 1997, thousands of people across Arizona, particularly in the Phoenix area, reported seeing a large V-shaped formation of lights moving silently overhead. News outlets grabbed hold of the story, labeling it one of the largest mass sightings in modern history. Later, the official explanation pointed to a combination of military flares dropped by an Air National Guard A-10 Warthog aircraft and other conventional aircraft in formation. Over the years, alternative theories have circulated. Some have pointed to advanced stealth technology, while others have used the event to argue for extraterrestrial visitation. Yet even among skeptics and local investigators, new theories keep emerging. Some noted that large flocks of birds flying in a V formation can appear as bright lights if their undersides catch and reflect ground or city lights, especially if observed from a certain angle or in the right atmospheric conditions. The so-called birds theory became a debated explanation for at least part of the phenomenon. In recent years, government agencies and serious researchers have rebranded UFOs as UAPs, Unidentified Aerial Phenomena, or even UAEs, Unidentified Aerial Events. This shift attempts to move away from the cultural baggage associated with UFO, which for many automatically implies alien spacecraft. By using a more neutral and scientifically palatable term, experts can discuss sightings without the immediate leap to extraterrestrial conclusions. Historically, from papyrus records in ancient Egypt to mass sightings in modern cities, the allure of lights in the sky remains a testament to our boundless curiosity. Yet while these stories evolve across cultures and centuries, one common thread persists, a compelling mystery that challenges our understanding of reality. Before we tackle the vast realm of atmospheric physics or astronomy, let's acknowledge the most crucial element in any UFO sighting: the human brain. Our senses gather raw data, but our brain is responsible for interpreting that data and constructing our perception of reality. And while our cognitive apparatus is impressive, it's also riddled with shortcuts, biases, and vulnerabilities. Pareidolia, the tendency to perceive familiar patterns in random stimuli, is one such cognitive quirk. People often see faces in the clouds or shapes on the surface of Mars. When a witness glances at a light in the sky, especially under emotional or stressful conditions, the brain might fill in gaps or misinterpret what is seen. Confirmation bias likewise plays a role. If someone already believes in the possibility of extraterrestrials, they may be more inclined to interpret an ambiguous light as an alien craft. Similarly, those who scoff at the idea of aliens might dismiss truly puzzling events too quickly, labeling them conventional without further investigation. Both extremes can obscure the truth. Our atmosphere can produce an array of illusions that mimic mysterious lights or objects. Refraction, reflection, and diffraction of light can create halos around the moon, pillars of light above city skylines, or glows that seemingly hover in midair. While most people associate mirages with desert heat, temperature inversions can bend light in any climate, leading to effects like floating ships at sea or hovering cities in distant landscapes. When sunlight reflects off ice crystals, you can see bright spots of light flanking the sun, called sundogs. Camera lenses can also produce flares or orbs that seem to dance across photographs, easily misinterpreted as UFOs. A significant chunk of UFO reports involve objects that, upon closer inspection, turn out to be conventional aircraft, weather balloons, or even high-tech drones. In the 1940s and 50s, meteorological and military balloons were common culprits. In modern times, drone technology has advanced exponentially. Some drones come equipped with LED lights for night flying, capable of intricate formations that can baffle onlookers unaccustomed to seeing a cluster of synchronized lights moving in silence. In 2017, the U.S. Navy's Tic Tac video caused a stir, showing a fast-moving oval object. While many point to advanced technology or extraterrestrial craft, skeptics argue it could be a misidentified aircraft, a sensor artifact, or even a balloon caught in unusual wind currents. Sometimes, a sighting gains media traction, and soon dozens, if not hundreds of people report seeing the same phenomenon. This can result from mass suggestion or mass hysteria, where initial reports prime other observers to confirm what they believe they should be seeing. A classic example is the Martian Panic of 1938, when Orson Welles' radio adaptation of The War of the Worlds caused certain listeners to believe a real alien invasion was underway. Although the actual extent of hysteria has been debated by historians, it demonstrates how easily collective psychology can fuel UFO narratives. Ball lightning is a rare but documented atmospheric event where spherical, luminous orbs, often the size of a grapefruit or larger, appear during thunderstorms. They can float or zip around unpredictably before dissipating or exploding. For centuries, ball lightning was considered folklore, but modern research, including high-speed video analysis, suggests it's a genuine phenomenon involving electrical discharges. Plasma orbs emitted from geological faults, sometimes called earth lights or tectonic strain lights, are another possibility. These can occur in areas with seismic activity, where stress on rocks produces electrical charges that escape into the atmosphere, creating glowing orbs that might zigzag or flicker strangely. Birds can also confound witnesses, particularly at dawn or dusk when the sun's rays come from low angles. Certain species with lighter underbellies can reflect light in surprising ways. If a formation of large birds, geese for example, flies overhead in a V formation, it can appear as hovering lights moving in unison. In 1997, some analysts suggested that part of the Phoenix Lights event could be explained by such reflective birds, although the more mainstream explanation involved military flares. Sometimes the phenomenon is more mundane than illusions of light. A stray plywood panel carried off by a gust of wind, for instance, can appear momentarily like a large, unidentified flying object. Weather events like tornadoes, dust devils, or strong gusts can loft debris thousands of feet into the air. Metallic balloons, especially mylar party balloons, have also prompted frantic calls to local authorities about UFOs drifting silently across neighborhoods. People often forget how striking astronomical objects can be under ideal conditions. Venus, as one of the brightest objects in the sky, is frequently reported as a UFO. Its brilliance can pulsate when seen through atmospheric turbulence, creating an illusion of movement. On clear nights, bright stars and planets can appear to twinkle intensely. Add a pair of binoculars or an unsteady camera, and illusions of hovering or maneuvering objects abound. When larger pieces of debris burn up in Earth's atmosphere, dramatic streaks or flashes of light can spark alien invasion theories among unsuspecting viewers. Our emotional state heavily influences how we perceive uncertain stimuli. Research in the Journal of Anomalistic Psychology, 2021, notes that high stress or excitement can heighten our sense of agency detection, our tendency to see intention or intelligence behind random events. This aligns with the story of my grandfather and his fellow soldiers, who, under the high alert conditions of military service, interpreted reflected lights as potentially hostile or alien technology. Over the decades, numerous scientific teams have attempted to systematically study UFO sightings. Project Hysteria in Norway has documented recurring luminous phenomena in the Hessdalen Valley, which might be explained by plasma produced by geophysical activity, combustive chemicals in the atmosphere, or reflections of distant headlights. Private groups equipped with cameras, spectrographs, and other instruments continuously monitor the skies in UFO hotspots, finding that most anomalies can be traced to satellites, aircraft, or meteorological events. Perhaps the real question is, why do so many people want unidentified phenomena to be alien in origin? Part of it stems from the allure of cosmic wonder. We live in a vast universe. Just in our Milky Way alone, there could be billions of planets. The notion that we're not alone can be exhilarating, offering hope, fear, or a sense of cosmic drama. Cultural influences also can't be discounted. Generations raised on science fiction have been primed to interpret any unexplained light in the sky as extraterrestrial. It's important to emphasize that being skeptical about UFO sightings doesn't negate the possibility of extraterrestrial life. Many astronomers and astrophysicists fully acknowledge the statistical likelihood of life existing elsewhere in the universe. The essential difference is that mainstream science requires extraordinary evidence for extraordinary claims. A blurry video or an anecdotal tale rarely meets that threshold. Still, the unknown is tantalizing. Official bodies like NASA and even some branches of the military have shown renewed interest in analyzing unexplained sightings, focusing on multi-sensor platforms to rule out known phenomena. One of the most deeply ingrained misconceptions is that if an object is unidentified, it must be alien in origin. In reality, unidentified simply means we don't have enough information. During Project Blue Book, the U.S. Air Force left 701 cases as unidentified, not because they concluded aliens were visiting, but because the data was insufficient or contradictory. The infamous Roswell incident of 1947 fueled the belief that the U.S. government recovered alien bodies and has been concealing them ever since. While it's true that initial reports mentioned a flying disc, the Army Air Forces quickly retracted the statement, insisting the debris was from a weather balloon. Decades later, documents revealed Project Mogul, a top-secret operation testing high-altitude balloons designed to detect Soviet nuclear tests, was active around Roswell. Although some believe the cover story overshadowed actual extraterrestrial evidence, the more likely explanation involves Cold War secrecy rather than alien corpses in a hidden bunker. The Phoenix Lights garnered massive media attention and remain a cornerstone in ufology. Yet thorough investigations point to military flares and possibly aircraft or bird formations. While thousands witness something extraordinary, extraordinary events can have ordinary causes, just in rare or combined forms that confuse observers. It's often said that pilots, astronauts, and military personnel are impeccable observers who can't be mistaken. While they are certainly trained professionals, they're still human. High-stress situations, poor visibility, and the complexities of flight instrumentation can lead to errors. The digital age has given us an avalanche of UFO videos and photos, many of which go viral within hours. Yet digital media can be easily manipulated. Even genuine videos often lack frame of reference for size, distance, or speed. Researchers emphasize the need for corroborating data, radar readings, multiple witnesses, or consistent vantage points to lend credibility to any photographic evidence. Contrary to popular belief, UFOs or UAPs do intrigue scientists, but the scientific community demands reproducible, measurable data. Historical research, such as the University of Colorado's Condon Report, concluded that most sightings had prosaic explanations. When truly unexplainable data arises, scientists advocate for better instrumentation and structured studies rather than sensational headlines. Many people argue that if hundreds or thousands witness the same event, it validates alien visitation. However, sizable groups of observers can still misinterpret an event, especially if it's visually striking and poorly understood. Skeptics sometimes claim that UFO sightings emerged only after aviation technology became widespread. But strange aerial lights and objects were reported in ancient and medieval texts. What is modern is the cultural narrative tying these phenomena to alien spacecraft. Humans have always wondered about lights in the sky. Modern technology and media have merely reframed that wonder. These myths persist because of cultural momentum, emotional appeal, distrust in institutions, and media amplification. Debunking myths doesn't mean dismissing the possibility of unknown phenomena entirely. It simply means applying consistent logic and critical thinking, rather than defaulting to exotic explanations. While many UFO sightings boil down to reflections, birds, atmospheric phenomena, or advanced human technology, there remain a handful of cases that defy complete explanation. These represent the frontier where science meets the unknown. Occasionally, reliable witnesses, such as trained pilots, report objects performing maneuvers beyond the known capabilities of contemporary aircraft. Radar data sometimes supports these claims, though skeptics suggest instrument glitches, software anomalies, or illusions caused by layered atmospheric conditions. In recent years, various government bodies have declassified videos and documents related to UAP encounters, fueling speculation that they're preparing the public for a grand revelation. Government officials maintain these objects are simply unidentified, not necessarily alien. A small number of cases involve alleged physical traces, such as scorched ground or unusual radiation levels at landing sites. Often these are consistent with natural or human-made occurrences, lightning strikes, chemical spills, or radiation from industrial materials. However, a few remain odd enough that no prosaic explanation has been confirmed. We already know about ball lightning and plasma orbs, but it's plausible that other rare atmospheric or geophysical phenomena exist, yet to be fully documented. Science has not cataloged every interaction of Earth's electromagnetic fields, geological stressors, and atmospheric chemistry. The Hysteria lights in Norway might be one example, with ongoing investigations still inconclusive about their exact cause. As science and space exploration advance, it's worth acknowledging that life could exist elsewhere in our universe. While the vast distances make direct contact challenging, the idea that advanced life might travel across interstellar space is not impossible, though it remains unproven. Standing in my grandfather's shoes that day, watching glowing orbs zip across the sky only to discover they were reflections on wires, shows us just how easily we can misread the world. The sky isn't just a canvas for aliens or angels, it's a dynamic stage where physics, weather, wildlife, and human psychology converge to produce an endless array of illusions and genuine wonders. The same principle applies to the Phoenix lights, ball lightning, or that plywood panel that flew off into the night. Context and investigation reveal just how extraordinary our planet can be, even without invoking extraterrestrial craft. At the heart of all this lies a simple but powerful approach. Follow the facts. If a phenomenon can be traced to a known cause, like a misidentified flock of birds, then that's a testament to Earth's capacity for producing illusions as captivating as any science fiction tale. If something remains unexplained after thorough scrutiny, then it deserves continued study. precisely because it might teach us something new about our world or how we perceive reality. And what of the enduring question? Are we alone in the universe? That remains a distinct issue, an exciting realm for astrobiology, exoplanet research, and theoretical physics. Acknowledging that life may thrive on distant worlds doesn't automatically validate every UFO sighting as alien. Instead, it reminds us how vast and uncharted our universe is. The genuine scientific approach to that question is rooted in exploration and evidence, from analyzing Martian soil samples to scanning distant stars for biosignatures. That is why it's logical to remain open-minded yet critical. We can appreciate the wonder of a night sky teeming with possibilities without jumping to the conclusion that every glowing orb is from another star system. Curiosity and skepticism are not mutually exclusive. Together, they drive our greatest discoveries. This dual perspective prevents us from settling for easy answers when the truth might be far more nuanced or far more incredible. As we wrap up, remember that the label Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon simply marks the starting point for inquiry, not the finish line. Many sightings, once thoroughly investigated, lead to surprisingly terrestrial sources: reflections, atmospheric plasma, meteors, or advanced human engineering. Others remain puzzling, reminding us that reality often outperforms our imaginations. We might one day solve all these skybound riddles, or we may continually discover new ones. Either way, the spirit of exploration endures. It drives amateur skywatchers, professional scientists, and even seasoned debunkers to keep gazing upward, searching for answers. Because whether we're dealing with illusions or genuine anomalies, the quest for knowledge about our place in the cosmos is the real magic. And until proven otherwise, the simplest explanation often holds the greatest elegance. After all, it's logical to seek the truth in the unknown, no matter where it leads us. Thank you for joining me on It's Logical for our exploration of unidentified aerial phenomenon. From ancient texts to modern sightings, from optical illusions to advanced aeronautical technologies, one lesson stands clear. Our universe is as vast as our imaginations, but we must remain tethered to facts if we're to understand it. Stay curious, stay skeptical, and remember, sometimes the real wonder lies not in aliens from the sky, but in the astonishing secrets our own planet has yet to reveal. Until next time, keep looking up, keep thinking critically, and never stop asking the hard questions. After all, when the unknown beckons, it's logical to seek the answers.